Right, we are on to Joe Rogan and Bryan Callen and Brendan Schaub. Joe had them on.
Which is interesting because he wasn't really into the dramas they were into, right?
He wasn't. And Joe doesn't like the drama stuff at all, period. I mean, think about it. Joe Rogan is the biggest broadcaster possibly in history not named Howard Stern.
Yep.
I mean, he's probably surpassed the Rush Limbaughs of the world at this point. Maybe. I mean, Limbaugh did it for like 30 years or so. So maybe not Limbaugh.
I think he's on his way.
He's right up there with Stern and Limbaugh and Casey Kasem and all those broadcasters from the radio days. He's done that on the internet. Joe had Brendan Schaub and Bryan Callen and Eddie Bravo on, not for an episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, but for the Fight Companion show, where they watch a UFC card and they bullshit together. There's a few clips that I thought were very funny, and they make me... I'll be very honest with you, and I know I was a little annoyed that I turned on Red Bar today because I had the same clips picked out. So Red Bar clearly does what I do when it comes to Rogan. He goes to the Fighter and the Kids subreddit and picks out those clips. I found the same clips.
Yep.
And I found them entertaining, but for different reasons. Red Bar thinks it's this grand conspiracy where Joe Rogan fucking hates these guys, but he still brought them on his show to,
because he hates them so much.
I will say this, though. While he may be wrong about that, and he's just doing that for the over-the-top gimmick,
yep,
Rogan did bring them on to show those gentlemen that there is a fucking pecking order here, and you will follow it. He also brought those gentlemen on because they are his friends, and he does bust his friends' balls.
It's kind of fun, right?
I think it kind of puts these guys in their place, but also, and again, I don't know if Rogan does wink, wink, nudge, nudge shit with his audience. I don't think he cares. I think he just does his show and stays out of the internet shit. Because whenever they bring people up to Joe Rogan, he never has any idea who they are or what the drama is.
I don't think he needs it.
No. So I don't think he's interested in bringing Brendan and Bryan on to belittle them and make them feel shitty so the internet thinks Joe's a cooler guy. Joe doesn't care about that.
Right.
But I do think Joe brought them on and was also establishing that pecking order, like, you guys are still my boys, but I'm going to fuck with you guys a little bit harder this time.
I still brought you here,
right,
not the other way around.
Here's a clip, and I know the guys at the Fighter and the Kids subreddit are salivating over this stuff, but I can assure you, these guys are all buddies. These guys are all, friends. Rogan may be a little annoyed with how much of a headache they caused.
It's like having kids
a while back. Right. But he still likes these guys.
Yeah.
They're still buddies. Joe Rogan isn't bringing people on his podcast to have drinks and watch fights. Joe Rogan loves watching fights. He's not going to want to bring shitty energy of people he doesn't like to his drinking, cigar smoking, and fight night.
Right. Makes sense.
He's not. People on the internet, troll people on the internet, do this weird thing where they put their brain in another guy's head and then they think he thinks like they do.
Sure.
They're like, here's what I would do if I didn't like these guys. I'd bring them on my show and then just belittle them. It's like, yeah, but Joe Rogan's not you. Joe Rogan's not me. I'm going to try and think like Joe Rogan here and not think like myself.
And that's why Joe Rogan's also out there, like, way ahead of everyone.
Right. Joe's bringing his buddies on. Joe's above all the shit talking and the noise and the drama. But Joe also, if you watch him bring any comedian on, he loves busting their balls.
Yes.
He loves making fun of his friends. He just does. And yes, there's a part of him that makes fun of these two because, like I said, they're a little bit lower in the pecking order.
Well, they're not special.
So he gives them a little more shit.
Yeah.
If he was watching the fights with Bill Burr, he would not treat Bill Burr this way.
Sure.
But it's not because Bill Burr didn't beef with Bobby Lee. Joe Rogan didn't give a fuck.
He's a little more established, isn't he?
He's a little more established, that's all. So here's the first clip of Rogan and Callen.
Here, give me your fucking glass so I could pour you some Tiger Thick. Hey. It's very good whiskey with the worst fucking name ever.
So, Brendan released a new whiskey because everybody's got to have a booze now.
It's whiskey and tequila. Pick one.
Oh, is it?
Yep. A lot of celebrities have tequilas now.
Oh, I thought you meant Brendan's was a mix.
Oh, no. I just mean pick one for a celebrity.
Brendan's is a whiskey, and it's called Tiger Thick.
Oh.
Right? Now, does Brendan Schaub have to start a beef with Bobby Lee for Joe Rogan to think Tiger Thick is a cringy, shitty fucking meathead name?
No, I don't care about Brendan. I don't want to buy a Tiger Thick whiskey.
Tiger Thick. And the whole thick boy thing is just a douchey name in general. You know what it reminds me of? Reminds me of a guy who peaked in football in high school and keeps wanting to go back. That's the kind of person I think of when I think of a thick boy.
We've all seen that guy.
Dude, a thick boy to me is a guy who, when you get together at 35, still wants to talk about senior night, their football game, their last home game of their career.
Dude, you remember how many touchdowns I had?
Remember when I did that double A gap blitz and sacked the quarterback on 3rd and 6 to seal the game for us? It's like, dude, what?
I fucked so hard that night.
God, man, because I'm a thick boy.
Oh, how dare you.
It's a bad name, but the whiskey's very
Oh,
fucking
I love
good.
the name.
What's the name?
dude. Tiger Thick.
Yeah, it's
Spits
bourbon.
up my
That's that guy,
So,
right?
Brendan, look, I'm not saying that calling it Tiger Thick is not completely on brand for Brendan Schaub because
is.
he is that guy.
Yes.
But Joe Rogan, and I love that he has to take it because Joe's complimenting the whiskey. He's shitting on the name.
Right.
So Brendan's like, that really hurts because Brendan didn't go to a focus group and test the name out.
No.
Brendan really loved that name and he wanted it.
He was sitting there tasting it one night and he's like,
Tiger Thick.
I've got it.
So for Joe to shit on that name is not Joe shitting on some spokesman's idea for what the name should be.
Right.
It's shitting in Brendan's soul.
Yeah.
But Brendan's also going, oh, I'm on Joe Rogan's podcast and he's telling people my whiskey's good. That's going to sell units of whiskey. I guess he gets to shit on the name. It's like if a guy's paying your mortgage and all your bills, but he's fucking your wife in front of you.
Oh.
And you're like, this is shameful and disgusting and gross
Bad
and
day.
terrible. But I have to let him fuck my wife because he's paying all of my bills.
That's somehow a sad existence, though.
So I'll never let another man pay my bills. I don't want
Oh, yeah?
them to fuck my wife.
All right.
That's the only reason. So now this second clip is Joe Rogan continuing to shit all over the name Tiger Thick. Joe Rogan really had a hard-on for the name of this whiskey.
Well, come on. It's not the great. It's not creative, and it doesn't really go for whiskey. Tiger Thick?
This is why everyone thinking that this is somehow retribution for the Bobby Lee thing it's wishful thinking. Joe's a meathead. He saw something he thinks is fucking stupid and he wants to keep making fun of it.
Oh my God, Tiger Thick. Tiger Belly. Is there something connected there?
It was all a work.
Yeah.
Besides, haven't we established that the shittiest person in that whole thing was Kalila anyway?
Yes, she was sinister.
And Brendan Schaub was actually right about Kalila. She was pulling bullshit on that subreddit because they had an IP address that went back to that studio, and the minute he started talking about it, it went away. And Kalila has talked about how she's an internet sleuth and she likes to get in there and mix things up.
And somehow Bobby had no idea, but
Bobby
she's
had no
good at this
idea
stuff.
because, as she said, Bobby doesn't even have a computer. He doesn't know any computer shit.
Right.
So Kalila was fucking around, made Bobby take all the heat for it,
well, he's the bigger name.
and then made Brendan look like shit because he's an easy mark. That Kalila's a brilliant sociopath.
This is like if I were to get on your accounts and cause a bunch of problems, it's all coming back to you.
And then all my friends call me and yell at me, and I go, guys, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Right. And it was my fault, but now it's his
But I won't
fault.
say anything. Then you don't say anything. They're all calling me out for it. You know what the problem is, and you don't say anything. God, she's evil.
Isn't that gross?
She's fucking cold,
I could
man.
never do that.
Kalila is one of the most evil people in podcast history.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
She's pretty bad.
Pedro. Both Pedro Tyson. Both of them.
Wild gentlemen.
Oh, it's just scary. They spit in
Whiskey's
it.
great.
Oh, thanks, brother.
It really is good.
Thank you, sir.
It's so easy
Long
to
time
drink.
coming.
Just come up with a better name.
Well, and I want Brendan to kind of tell us, like, with a shitty name like that, I want you to tell me why you named it that.
I love that Joe's like, it is good. It's very good. Pick a better name.
Yes.
How dare you, Joe?
I had people over and I poured them Tiger Thick. I didn't tell them. Every single one of them was like, holy fuck, this is great.
Just maybe not the thick part.
I like it. I like that name.
It's my branding.
You don't like Tiger Thick? I like it.
He's like, just not the thick part. And Brendan's like, that's my branding, bro.
That's literally his company.
That's literally his whole thing. Although after Gringo Poppy, maybe you should drop it. It's a
Change
damaged,
it or
yeah, it's a
something.
damaged brand.
I feel like he could have just named it Thick and it would have gone better than Tiger Thick. Tiger Thick sounds douchey.
I love how Joe's like, of the two names he wants to drop, it's the one that identifies most with Brendan. See, people who think that Joe's got some kind of 4D chess thing going on here, you're full of shit. Joe's just speaking from the heart.
Yeah.
He doesn't even realize he's hurting Brendan's feelings. He's just telling him the name fucking sucks.
I do think the name is kind of weird, though, because the tiger thing has nothing to do with Brendan, right? Does Brendan have anything to do with, like,
I don't know
where
the tiger part comes in.
That's what makes me think he was on Tiger Belly, and he's like, oh, Tiger Thick.
That is weird.
It is weird.
You like the name?
What do you want to call? You want Tiger Trace? What do you want?
You know what? Kudos to Brendan, kind of sticking it back up his ass with the Buffalo Trace obsession that Rogan has. I don't hate it.
That's true.
You want me to call it Tiger Trace?
Tiger Tracks.
You know, I know everyone wants to, shit on Brendan all the time, but what's he supposed to do? Just sit there and take it and say nothing back?
No, because then I'll look like a little bitch.
Yeah, you got to defend yourself a little.
What do you want? What do you want? Jack Thick?
Just something that
Thick.
doesn't make me embarrassed to tell people what it is.
See, guys, he's not mad at these guys for the Bobby Lee thing. He's not making them pay. He's sitting there with his friends, watching a show, shitting on them.
Guys, it's funny.
That's all they're doing,
He's
guys.
having fun.
The internet tries to make more a shit than it is. I'm telling you right now, Joe was fucking with his buddies. I find Bryan Callen and Brendan Schaub to be pretty douchey too, but I'm not going to lie and pretend something's more than it is just so people will think I'm fucking cool.
I feel like Joe is too simple for that kind of shit.
Right. That's exactly my point.
He's a simple man. He likes having fun.
He wants a job and a piece of land. 3 squares in a frying pan. Mm-hmm. Something.
Yeah, you got it.
A fucking Ricky Van Shelton song. How am I supposed to remember it?
How are you embarrassed? What are we talking? What are you? What's Sebastian say? What's Sebastian say? Aren't you embarrassed?
So there's the second
That
clip.
face.
Again, it's just Joe shitting on his buddy's whiskey. It's funny, but it's not. Yeah, it's not like. I mean, Brendan's clearly in on the joke.
Yeah, I mean, he seems fine. He's just defending himself a little because it's what you have to do.
I will say this. I believe Joe views Brendan as kind of his really like little brother. You know the little brother that you were too old to hang out with when you were kids?
Too big of an age gap?
You kind of always treat him like he's a little baby boy. I feel like Bryan Callen is Joe's older brother that never became as successful as Joe. And so Joe kind of likes to rub it in his face and put him in his place every once in a while. Remember Dan, JD's brother in Scrubs, who lived with his mom?
Yes, I do. Yep.
That's how Joe views
I got
Joe views Brian the way JD viewed Dan. All right? And every once in a while, he just subconsciously has to go, shut the fuck up, big brother. I'm the biggest broadcaster in the world, and you peaked in Mad TV. You shut the fuck up. You were on the fucking Goldbergs. Stop it.
Watch yourself.
Here's Brian. Brian has a brand of sandal called toe holds.
What?
Why is everybody getting things?
Why?
Not everybody needs these things.
Everyone has either an alcohol or a clothing brand.
Yeah, so now he's got one called toe holds. Again, Joe not impressed with the name, but also wants Brendan to shut the fuck up with his shilling.
All right.
It's just so good looking, man. When he pulls up, it's like, that is a great looking car.
Hey.
For an American.
Hey.
Hey.
Put your toes on.
Fuck's sake.
Take those off.
Shut the fuck up.
Listen
to him. Listen to him.
Come
So
on.
silly.
Well,
I know
the
you
way
want
I
to promote your goofy
I'm
flip.
not.
First of all, he looks at him. So Brendan, he's drinking Brendan's whiskey. He's like, it's good. The name fucking sucks.
Yeah.
So he's like teasing his little brother. But
It's
with
fun.
Brendan's like, hey, put my new get rich quick scheme up. And Joe's like, would you shut the fuck up? You're silly. Like he's almost talking to his older brother, like, get your life together. The fuck's the matter with you?
That does seem really gimmicky of Callen to bring that up.
Yeah, Joe's a lot more playful with Brendan. He does treat him like a big retarded ape. And then Brian, it's almost like he's like, you know better. You're better than this.
That's true.
Stop gimmicking your sandals, you shit.
Right. Don't do the sandal thing. Like maybe if you want something that's like a get rich quick and you want Joe to talk about it, make it be something that's above the table. Like don't have an under the table item.
What did Joe call them? Your goofy fucking sandals?
Your goofy fucking sandals.
Listen to him. Listen to him.
Come
So
on.
silly.
Well,
I know
the
you
way
want
I
to promote your goofy
I'm
flip.
not promoting him. I just got
You don't even
for
call them toe holds.
Feel him under your
Put your
feet.
toe holds on.
Feel him for you. Feel him under your feet. Come on.
Eddie, see a toe hold, bro? Here's a toe hold. This is the only one that counts.
There you go.
Oh!
We haven't seen a toe hold in
Can we point something else out?
He's very flexible.
That's like a 56-year-old man.
That is a limber dude.
I think him and DDP are the only people who pretty much qualify for Medicare that can do that.
They actually work out together.
Yeah, DDP and Joe Rogan. Do they really? No, one lives in Austin, one lives in Atlanta.
Hey, they can
stupid.
take their private jet from, what is that called?
I'm an idiot. I apologize. It was all stupid. Oh, fucking A. Oh, you guys did that thing where I tell you to stop giving us money, and you kept giving us money, and now I have to count it for tomorrow. Let's catch up.
Paint your blush on.
Let's catch up with the chat here now that we're done with the Rogan stuff, and then we've got DSP, and then I promised these guys we'd also get the Salvo Pancakes Deaf Noodles thing. Informal Warfare with $5 says everyone stop giving money so Aaron doesn't have to do math. I repeat, no more money. Orange Boy with $2, no more money. Informal Warfare, $2. Please stop donations. All right, there I have to do that. Sexy
more?
Pancake with $20. Take my money. So I got another 20.
I love the Sexy Pancake.
There we go. Thank you, Sexy Pancake. Jay Santos with $1.99 says enough with the money, damn it. Pumice Stone says 20 pity bucks Labor Day special. All right, gotta add a little more.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, is that it? Rebel Fluff with $10. I was told we're required to give money. No, I said stop giving us money. $4.99 from iSneeze says, are we required to keep giving? Birdman with another $5. Birdman, you've done enough, for God's sake. Oh,
thanks, guys.
I think that's it. Thank you guys very much. That's very sweet of you. But fucking A, man. Thank you.
Wow.
All right. So what does that put us for tomorrow? 20, 40, 50, 60, $75 ahead for tomorrow night.
There were some fun chats in there.
Thank you guys very much. That was. Did I miss some good ones? Because I had to count everybody's money. Dragon Thick. Looks like April gave up on improving the backdrop. Nate's never gonna let you stop.
Do you know what I want to do?
Nate's never gonna let you stop thinking about that backdrop.
I want to get a completely black sheet to just put over this. Is that okay with you? Would that please, Nate?
Nate just wants you want a black backdrop now? What if we did?
I don't know what else to do.
Let's have Nate. Let me give something for Nate to chew on. Nate, what if I did one of those those backdrops that they like take pictures of on red carpets where it's just the steel toe logo in spots and it's just kind of rows of it coming down throughout so that there's no split in the thing. Would that be okay with you, Nate? Would that be okay?
Because here's the thing, guys. Like, we don't have a wall directly behind us, so we can't just have shit on the wall. We can't put a TV there. There's no wall here. This is like a big-ass room divider. It's like, how many feet is that? It's fucking huge.
It's like we made our studio the way you make an office.
We had to. Know? It's like a room divider.
Cambodian River Pig, who I have a soft spot for. I'll always read his shit. He says, Tiger is the name of his son. He didn't name his son Tiger.
Did he really?
He really is firing on like 2.5 synapses, isn't he? I mean, that thing, you talk about a 4-cylinder engine. That thing's got a smart car engine in it. Tiger is the name of his kid. Maybe
is that true?
Maybe like a lady tiger, you know?